Today, the latest in Lunacy in Australia. Childcare workers are demanding the same pay as engineers. Yes, those childcare workers who you drop your kids off in the middle of suburbia, who work in air-conditioned comfort and teach kids how to finger paint, think that their jobs are comparable to engineers who work in the middle of nowhere, away from their family, having to fly there and back every few weeks, um, who make sure that a mine full of people doesn't collapse and kill them all, and also to make sure that these mines are also adequately ventilated so that those in working in the mines can breathe. Yes, they think their jobs are comparable, and they have the audacity to think that they work in a relatively dangerous environment. Not sure when the last time you heard about childcare worker getting killed on the job. Well, every year you hear about mines collapsing and miners dying. But hey, that's the same thing, right? The funny thing is, the main reason they think there's a disparity in pay here is because engineering is for men and childcare is for women. That's it. That's the sole reason that they think. So now they're demanding a pay rise between 25 and 59%. Just so you know, the average daycare teacher earns $76,886 a year, while a mining engineer earns $156,104 a year. Now, looking at it from an academic point of view, Australia's top university, Australian National University, which is ranked number 1 in Australia, obviously being the top university, and number 20 worldwide, doesn't even offer childcare courses. If you do a search on their website, early childhood, nothing comes up. Meanwhile, of course they have engineering in there, but in order to get into engineering, you need to be in the top 10% of all school leavers in that year. Now, moving on to universities number 2 and 3, both of them also offer engineering, unsurprisingly, and with a cutoff of at least being in the top 15% of all students. Interestingly enough, include University of Queensland, which is the number 4 university in Australia, none of them offer any sort of childhood education course due to their lack of academic prestige. Obviously, they do not think that childcare is on par with engineering. Now, if you have a look at what they learn at university, you can see that the list of things that mining engineers learn, like higher maths, higher physics, engineering mechanics, engineering math, fluid flow and heat transfer, mine planning, mine ventilation, mining geomechanics, and socio-environmental aspects. Oops, left the T of the environment there. Compare that to the Bachelor of Education, Early Childhood, where they learn child development, curriculum studies, professional experience, and education studies. So if you look at the mining engineering curriculum, there's a lot of hard stuff there. Most people can't do higher maths and higher physics or engineering math, or want to even be responsible for the lives of many people that would mine ventilation would teach you, and mine planning. Not sure if they're really exactly the same thing here, just looking at what they learn. Now, let's have a look at it from a pay level. Remember before that the average childcare teacher earns $76,000 a year. And you go, oh look, the average full-time income in Australia is $83,600. But don't forget, when you look at average income, that's skewed by, now this is full-time income, so these are full-time workers. This is skewed by people at the top end. So, those who are earning billions of dollars or millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, they can skew the average pay. So if you look at the median full-time income, which of 73.9 thousand, they actually get paid about $3,000 more than that, which you'd think is pretty good considering their job is to look after children who are learning to finger paint. But also, if you look at the median over 15, that's age 15 income in Australia, it's 34.4 thousand. The median household income in Australia is just under $75,000. So basically, the early childhood teacher are earning more than the median household in Australia. So the median household is basically what real Australians are earning. Now, to make this even worse, Australia's childcare fees are amongst the world's highest. If you have a look at this article from the Herald Sun that came out late last year, 2017, Australian parents are now being charged some of the highest fees in the world for childcare, raising the cost of living pressures. If you have a look at this analysis on the side here, if you send your kid to a childcare center for $180 a day in a year, that stacks up to about $47,000. Luckily, the government comes in and subsidizes it, and that reduces it down to a mere $39,000. It's $150 a day, well, it's only $31,000. So as you can see, if you compare that to the average income that someone over the age of 15 is earning, you're basically talking about, so the median income, basically talking about a full person's wage. So, as Australia already has amongst the highest childcare costs in the world, so if we increase the pay of staff, which is a large percentage of childcare costs, how are Australians going to be able to afford it? Well, it's the government, of course. The spokesperson for the IEU, which stands for Independent Education Union, says, well, we think the government should pay for it. But last time I looked, the government gets their money from taxes, and taxes come from the taxpayer. So really, it's not just the government paying for it. Already, the government already heavily subsidizes the childcare industry anyway. So, childcare is just going to go up because these people think that that their jobs are so hard and that's so highly skilled and that they're equivalent to many other people. I mean, they want to get paid more than nurses and high school teachers and primary school teachers. Thing is, those jobs are paid by the government. If they see childcare work go up to 106K for someone with experience in childcare, they're going to expect that too because their jobs are hard. I mean, a nurse, the crap that they have to deal with compared to a childcare work, it's not comparable. They get groped, they get assaulted, they get sworn at, they work long hours. They see blood, they see guts. You just can't compare it. And yet they think they should be paid more than them. It's absurd. Now here's an interesting thought. Just how hard and rare a skill is childcare? I mean, childcare workers have obviously been around since the dawn of civilization, and and somehow that's the only reason why children throughout all of history have managed to be raised, right? I mean, cavemen had childcare workers, medieval age had childcare workers. Otherwise, how the hell did we get to this point in history? Now let's think. Let's swap childcare workers and engineers with their jobs for a month. Engineers you'd think would cope just fine. I mean, obviously they wouldn't do as good a job as the childcare workers because they wouldn't know the exact specifics and would be able to get kids to finger paint at optimum level. However, the kids would survive, the kids would be okay, they'd be entertained, and the world would be okay. Meanwhile, in engineering land, where the childcare workers are trying, they wouldn't have a clue about how to solve complex math and physics issues. They wouldn't be able to build a bridge, they wouldn't be able to design a mine, they wouldn't be able to ventilate a mine, they wouldn't be able to design an aircraft, and nothing would happen. In fact, the engineering company would probably lose a lot of money in business because, hey, they've got a bunch of people who have no idea what to do. So for those of you who think I've just pulled all of this information from my butt, here is a bunch of links for you to have a look at. But I guess the main thought is that maybe some childcare workers are being underpaid. I mean, I read that a casual child worker without the degree earns less than someone who stacks shelves at a supermarket. Obviously, that's not right. At the same time, they do have an inflated opinion of how much they should be paid. I mean, I think at the upper end, maybe childcare teachers who have gone through a 4-year degree should probably be paid the same as a primary school teacher. But that's probably it. $106,000? No way. That'd put them easily in the top 10% of income earners in Australia, and frankly, for a job that anyone can do to some level without messing it up, it's just not worth it.